you find the actor.
Why not?
I'm recording again.
Yep.
We got shots.
I see tally. Unfortunately, that guy doesn't have a tally. That's
Let's see the red lights.
Red Lights with Robert De Niro and Cillian Murphy.
No, I haven't.
And
It's called
Sigourney
Red
Weaver.
Lights.
Yeah, Red Lights with Sigourney Weaver,
Interesting.
Cillian Murphy, and
I see that. I saw Red Eye with Cillian Murphy. Do you remember that? And Rachel McAdams.
that was the one.
on
Yeah, oh wow,
Airplane.
yeah, okay.
Remember that?
I do remember that one. That was
Wes Craven.
yeah. Really? I
Yeah.
forgot that was a Wes Craven film.
Rest in peace. He's dead.
That's a shame.
It is. I love Wes Craven. He's one of the reasons that I like telling stories, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very alluring. Yeah.
For me, that like out of those guys, John Carpenter really
You do
Was.
strike me as a John Carpenter. Of course you are.
like John Carpenter really was more like The Thing, like Mind of Madness.
He was a designer, too, you know. He was just
He
really
was, yeah.
design-oriented.
Who made Dead Alive? I loved that movie.
Dead Alive.
Oh, who did make that one? Do you want to look that up real quick?
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson, that's
Peter
right.
Jackson
That's a good
did
one.
do Dead Alive.
so
That
Dead
was
Alive,
right.
that was a great one.
Bad Taste.
What about Reanimator? Reanimator, that was a
That was
good
another good one. What was the other one? Dead Silence, James Wan.
James Wan did Dead Silence. That's a good one.
And that was when you can really see his first, like, you know, his cinema style, his cinematography style really implemented in that film. That was the first time I remember, like, because I remember seeing a lot of James Wan stuff later. Like, I
me
wasn't
too.
introduced to him. Like, I saw and then the Conjuring films and like that stuff. But then
You're right over there, buddy.
I saw
so
Dead Silent.
The first thing I saw was Saw. Yes, that I knew was James Wan. And that's the first thing I remember. So that's like, what, 2004? Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 2004. That's like 20 years ago.
You want to slam in that intro music? I realize we've been talking for a minute.
Coming in.
All right. Let me give it some seasoning. Yeah, that's crazy. You know, 20 years ago, 2004.
Yeah, that's true.
Dawn of the Dead. No. Yeah, I think Dawn of the Dead. Zack Snyder came out also 2004.
Yeah. You know, it was funny. We were looking that up and we saw that James Gunn and Zack Snyder both worked on that film together. Essentially,
Yeah,
it was
James Gunn did work on that Dawn of the Dead film.
That was funny. It's just like going that far back. But anyways, welcome to The Science of Art, the show where we explore our guests' journey into art and how they got started. And then we kind of geek out about the science, about how it's done. I am Dakota Coolman, and tonight I have both Matt Pleasant and Eric Adams joining me from behind the booth. Actually, they're going to be sitting in, and we're going to be talking about all kinds of things.
We brought the booth.
Yeah, we had
to
to
you.
brought the booth here.
Here,
Yeah.
and I like this. I like that this episode's going to be a lot more just like more of a jam session of us just kind of like just instead of talking in the kitchen or in the living room, now we're just talking here in front of the cameras and
Mostly,
mic,
behind
you know.
closed doors conversations.
That's really a reason why we started doing this too, is we realized, you know, we have these really intricate conversations about this stuff. And a lot of times, I don't know about you, but I'm always like, was anybody recording that? Anybody? Nobody? Damn it.
Yeah, I think so.
So, now
Eric
we have an
had to have
excuse.
been. Yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Tonight, I just wanted to kind of relax, and we're going to talk about kind of why do we put ourselves through this. We're getting into pre-production now. You know, we are now officially into pre-production for Commitment. By the time this episode comes out,
It's a very hostile.
This will be our
place.
April episode. So, hi, April.
Yeah, I know. It's right around the corner.
Yep. It really
so
it's
right around
amazing.
this time we should probably be shooting.
But no,
Yeah.
that's gonna be exciting. So yeah, already in pre-production for another film. You know, the economy and state of the world, state of the nation. Nothing really slows down, but that's kind of the intent of all of it. Life is gonna throw as much stuff at you as it can, and you're either going to adapt and evolve and keep progressing forward with other people, or don't.
Yeah, well,
That separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom is
Yeah.
choice, you know, that conscious choice. Although I don't know, animals don't pay taxes, so they might be doing something right.
Well, I was gonna say it doesn't feel like much of a choice. Like if you really love to do it, you just keep going.
Yeah, with this, no. This is. I feel this is ingrained biologically. I tell people that a lot of times. They're like, how do you like doing it? I'm like, I don't have a choice.
Yeah,
it's in my nature. I can't. With as long as we've been doing this, every time we try to steer away or try to do something different, or you have those bad days on everything, there's always just this little kid that just like I can feel tugging at my shirt. Like, no, it's over there. We're over there, and that's never really gone away.
It becomes wrapped up in your identity. It becomes that close. Mm-hmm. So
well, we're kind of like filters or funnels. You know what I mean? We experience the external world, and then we internalize it. And as we're kind of breaking down, what we're trying to make sense of this soup, essentially. Our creative imagination gives us rhyme and reason, and a lot of times you got to find an outlet for that energy. And for us, creation it's like there's so much out there to explore, but there's also so much that happens to you. You have to make sense of it, and what you put out in the world is important. So, and film is kind of one of those that if you're putting that out there, that's why it's such a cool group effort too, I feel. Like collectively, we all have to find synergy together to put something out there that all came from our minds collectively that makes sense on a universal level to thousands, if not millions or billions of people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And if you can do that together, this is one thing. If you can, you can do it on your own. It's in your head. It's your idea. It might not come out exactly how you see it in your head, but the evolution is personal. With film, that's like it's like a major trust fall with everybody falling into the middle, and we all have to somehow catch each other while we're falling. Mm-hmm. And then at the bottom where the net is, that's kind of where, when it's all said and done, you have immortalized that thing that we're creating. That fusion of intellects, and I think that's really cool. It's hard to leave that once you've tasted it. If you've always been hunting for that, especially as a filmmaker, if you've always been looking to make films and you find a community you can make films together, all on the same page with that common goal of like, no, there's more to this story that like I can tell from your past that something happened that this makes sense, Sorry, just ranting there, but
no, I mean, it all goes back to storytelling. Mm-hmm. Storytelling is, in human culture, I mean, it's how we pass down information. It's through generations. It's how we've taught each other, and film is for our time, it's that medium of storytelling, where we can take what we experience in the world and, interpret it, translate it onto screen, share it with people, have them connect with the idea, and then kind of share that experience with somebody else. So it's also like when you are a storyteller, and you're able to like give that experience, it becomes like a very addictive feeling too, because you really there is that synergy.
You start cracking something too. It's like it's a universal algorithm of existence in a way. Because
good,
because the thing is, what you're really doing is, it's like the reason why this is so important to our species. If you take out even look at the word entertainment. Let's entertain the idea of something else. Entertain the idea of what if. Entertain the idea of limitless possibilities. And what storytelling and filmmaking is, it's once you've internalized it and you've broke it down contextually, you have to put it out there in a form that resonates with people in a way that, because here's the thing, this is why film, like music, is so important, especially if I know we were talking about this on one episode where if you're in a bad headspace, you don't always listen to happy music. You listen to bad music, because the music is going to help you break down why do I feel like this. There's little things that help you with that, and especially when you find there's community in that too, or there's so many other people who they get that idea.
Yeah, you feel less alone when you can find more congruent like art forms to like match your own sort of like life experience and the feelings that you're having. You know, the same with movies. It's like if you're like, you know, I was always into like darker, like abstract, films, and that kind of went along with kind of like where I was like at in my youth and stuff like that. And a lot of those films are tremendous films from tremendous filmmakers too. They're very inspiring. But and music too. Like music, it's searching for that connection.
Right. And on a, I don't want to call this like an objective viewpoint, but on kind of like we were talking about like that individual level of why film is important and why storytelling is important. But if you look at it on a kind of a broader species level as to kind of why do we keep creating this? Why do we pour so much money into this industry? Why do we do this? It's not just entertainment and, people paying, a lot of money for this industry to exist. Really, there is, if you break it down, there's an important science to it subconsciously for us as a species, because if you look at it, what we're doing is we're either revisiting the past, and with a lot of films like period pieces, historical accuracy is, it's vital, is the bloodline or, the blood life of historical films, that accuracy, really feeling like you're there and present in the moment. But those are tools for us to look, back and see, past mistakes, past places where we grew, we learned, and by recreating those so completely, and with that, you can make a historical recreation or like a documentary or something like that. But even if you watch documentaries, they pump music in to make you feel the emotion of the time. And that's why film is important, because it really sets you in there, and it doesn't just go like, hey, we're on the Serengeti and here's the animals. No, it uses sounds and textures and cinematography and all these things to help push the narrative so that you feel a certain way, so it's easier for you to put yourself in that headspace. Like war films. If you've never been to war, well, then some of those films are going to mean something very particular for the people who did go to war. But if it's a good film and it pushes you to that brink where you're devastated at the end.
Saving Private Ryan was shown to a group of vets, and it triggered them in a way it was meant to. But
film brings all of the elements of creativity together. It really does. Music, visuals, some 2D animation, drawing, like physical art.
Smell-o-vision.
Remember
that?
Yeah, it's all brought together, like photography, all these things, into this one thing, which is sort of a representation of actual life, like a memory.
Now, what's interesting with that too is also you got to think of the future. In present times, it's interesting because we do tend to pump in pop culture and things that are easy to reference now, so that a generation can kind of acclimate to that idea of like looking at films or documentaries or things as places where they can seek answers on an emotional level. But if you look at things that are almost like post-apocalyptic, or looking at like it's weird. Film is almost like a means of training the mass populi for the mass population for.
Oh, it is a propaganda tool.
Right,
100%.
It's a simulation too. It's basically like simulation theory. It's like, here are all the what ifs. Like, look at the 2012 and like Day After Tomorrow scenarios and things like that. And also, I want to mention like action films.
Yep.
These are films that are set up that give you things that are larger than life to either aspire to. Yeah, of course, nobody can be Superman, but why settle for the middle? Aim for the top. That's why that character exists. But with those destruction films too, what's interesting is like you could teach an entire population like, hey, in the event of everything going up in flames, act like the heroes of this movie. Be like these people. Don't be like these people. They fell in the hole. You know, so it's like...
Yeah, it's a social commentary.
Right, and you can subliminally throw those things in to be like, okay, make these choices instead of these choices. Look at how the villains act versus this. There is definitely a significance to keeping this around. Film specifically is important because we've gotten so good at recreating reality. Once we start getting into like virtual reality and stuff like that, which we're really starting to dip into.
Yeah, you're getting about as close as you can get with storytelling with like...
But the thing...
It's right around the corner.
Short of immersion, which is, that's kind of what is next, is a simulation.
Now with film, probably. What's nice with film now is it's still kind of a group thing. You can go to a movie and... I know the pandemic kind of squelched that a little bit, but now that we're back into that, I don't know, once we get into group virtual reality simulations, it's going to get pretty interesting. But
yeah, movies will never go out, but there would just be a different way of consuming it and a different way to send money. And it is kind of like sad, with like theaters and stuff like that and with streaming.
That's true. Because
if you grew up young and you went to movies, in the 90s, you grew up young in like the 90s and sort of like the last days of like, before the internet and before anything like that. And even into the early 2000s, like the theater's like an experience,
Right.
It's like, you go to theme parks, you go to bowling alleys, you have all these like, where these different places have these different feelings and different auras to them. And movie theaters are like that to me. I think they are like that to other people too. So that's kind of a bummer, but you can kind of like... Yeah, the writing's on the wall, with streaming and everything, but...
No, I think things are just kind of beginning to... Oh, yeah, did we want to do that shot
before
quick?
We go any further...
Before we go any further, we're going to do
we want to do this shot. We got a shot prepared.
What are we drinking tonight? What do we got here? This is... Tell me about it, Eric.
About what?
Tell the lovely audience at home in bed.
It was developed in the Yukon.
So what we have here today is some lovely shit. I'd say it's in my top. It's in my top 3 right next to crack.
Okay,
it's good stuff.
Next to crack cocaine.
It's that Yukon Jack. I want to say
100 proof. Wow,
100 proof, and it's really good. I think it's Canada's equivalent of Jack Daniel's. It's really good stuff.
Fantastic.
If you take a bottle of it and you freeze it, well, as much as you can,
Yukon
chemically freeze alcohol. But if you toss it in the freezer and get it nice and cold, dude, it just takes like you take an orange peel and just get some maple syrup.
That's
it's so good.
That does sound like a campfire drink.
It's good.
You go to the top,
highly erotic.
You get it.
It's good stuff.
Might have to do that when we're I don't know, location scouting. We really gotta start doing that too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of traveling ahead. It's a lot of fun stuff. The further along we get down, the process.
You mean further down the rabbit hole? That's always how it is. Because once you start going down that spiral, you can't climb back out of it. You're just like, well, this thing's happening.
The further down you go, and you start to get your bearings a little bit, and it's like, oh yes, we've done this like 100 times. On other projects, like
this little sip is going to be my cheat during this training. We're in the middle of training for commitment, so my I could use this for my shoulder today. It was a little rough. It was a little rough this morning.
Disrupt your muscle synthesis just for a few seconds.
This morning in the gym was a little rough. I'm an afternoon guy. I need to warm up. My workouts are always better in the afternoon. Go in the morning and even cold shower beforehand, stretching and all that stuff. Not doing anything too ridiculous. I just notice it's not good until the end. Versus in the afternoon, it's always good all the way through.
All right, we're gonna shoot this.
Yes, we are. I'm procrastinating, so
on many levels to commitment.
Hey, commitment.
Yeah.
Clink. There we go. Yeah.
I'll get a shorter table.
Oh, that hit me. Oh, yeah. Not on my end, apparently.
Oh, I can taste that orange.
That's why I got some Fanta.
Well, you can't see that. You can't see the brand name.
I got the orange flavored soda. It's good.
No, I like it. I do taste that.
We are looking for ad placement.
Orange vanilla
It's like 20.
kind of-
It's like $20 of fries.
Thank you, Eric.
We are saying all kinds of names tonight.
That's fine. You'll just have to in the end.
Nice. You got it out here.
So, Eric, I had you on 2 episodes ago. I think it was.
Mm-hmm. We'll just grab
And
it.
last time we were talking about lighting, but
Yeah, that was a good one. I was there for that.
yeah, you've actually been here for all of them.
Yeah.
You're
I've been
like
in
one of the
back for
guys in
all
the
of them.
chair.
You know.
Yeah. You're the Jamie.
It's nice to be out front.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you sitting
You know?
here. This is a different camera configuration tonight.
Well, we got some new arms for the microphone.
We did get some new arms. These
Mhm.
are the Rode Podcaster.
The only thing I don't like about it, I don't know which factor it falls onto, but anything you put on the table, these
That-
microphones,
That
like you
sounds
take your
haunting.
drink.
Well, that was.
Oh, that's
yeah,
haunting.
these
You put your
are the
drink
other
in.
ones were just on the regular stands.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
you know, it's a trial and error period.
You can hear that.
That is amazing. That is so like deep and kind of cavernous.
That can be dude, that can be used for
As a
some
sound,
film.
yeah.
For some, we can
Uh-huh.
use some Foley with that.
Yeah, hey, do that instead of the dun dun.
Damn, I was hoping you'd be like,
Experimenting with some
We're
audio,
doing. Yeah, there you
some
go.
folly, doing some folly work.
So no,
Foley.
I wanted to kind of ask both of you guys, like, right now. I know tonight we were kind of talking a little bit about just freelancing and working day jobs and doing a lot of that. And the more I think about this, also, fame. No, I like my time and I really like my privacy.
yeah, like not being bothered.
Fortune.
Oh, speak for yourself.
Fortune and a bunch of houses brings a lot of responsibility you got to maintain, and you got to hire people to do that. And I'd rather be hiring people to do the movies. So
Exactly.
it kind of comes down to like everything I do, kind of most of the time during the daytime, anyways, is so we can be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some days where it gets kind of rough, and you wake up and you're like, only for like a second though. It seems you're like, oh, why am I doing this? And that's usually when the cortisol is hitting you in the morning. But after that, you kind of go, why am I doing anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a real question.
Bills. Bills.
But it's one of those things. You either vacation in this, and you don't stay that long, or it turns into a hobby later in life, or it's something that this is why you get out of bed, and life doesn't seem to give you an option, if that makes sense. It's just kind of a driving force, and I think for people like us, it is one of those things that the more we experience out here, and the more we start to internalize, and we got stories for days.
If you love it, if you really want to do it, I mean, there is a way, to do it. I mean, it's
There's a way really to do anything. If it has to be, then it has to be.
Yeah. I mean, you figure it out. I mean, when it's something like that that's that close and personal, whether it's making music or making films, or whether it's, writing a book, anything like that, like, it doesn't really matter, I think, with the people who are, like, truly, like, dialed in and connected, kind of, like, what kind of, like hits you along the way with sort of obstacles, kind of, like, are in your path along the way, you're ultimately going to do the thing, no matter what.
Do the thing.
So, yeah, you come to terms with that.
Just gotta do the thing, man. Just gotta do it.
And that's kind of like, it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of diligence. It's been a lot of, like, in the past of the films that we've made and remote and everything, if you stay with it, if you do not quit, if you do not give up on that, then, I mean, yeah, I think for me, I'm doing what I want to do. And I think ultimately that's a comforting thought at the end of the day, it's like.
Story is always going to be king, but ironically, it's gotten easier to make movies, for us. I mean, as far as like quickly and efficiently.
Yeah,
and
it's
making
become
them
more
look,
like a muscle reflex now.
Right.
With everything. Yeah.
So, no, we've really kind of trained ourselves to just dig in deep. If it's scary, that means it's the right time to jump, But Eric, I know for you, this has been kind of a combination. It's a love-hate relationship for all of us. But I know that this has been kind of a saving grace for you in a lot of situations and times. You know,
most definitely.
But I did want to talk a little bit about lighting and lenses tonight, and kind of talk about how that kind of affects storytelling. We're about to get into this project here pretty soon, so this seems like this would be a good time to actually kind of bring up and talk a little bit about some of the lenses and some of the gear that we might be using on this. I mean, this thing is going to be, some of it's going to be hopefully in a historical house. A lot of it's going to be in sort of bunker situations. A lot of it's going to be out in the wilderness. So we have to be thinking kind of fast and light and quick. And one of the lenses I know we were talking about was those the DZO Pictor lenses.
Dizzios look pretty cool.
Can you pull those up real quick, Matt? The DZO Pictor. They're parfocal too, which is a real nice thing.
Within the budget, I really enjoyed the sepia. Those the Zeiss CPLs we rented for the demonic music video. Those were nice.
Yeah, that's another one that we I definitely want to kind of check out.
Because it's not about your camera. It's one thing I've learned over time. It's all about the glass that's in front of your camera. Because I've been able to make that C100 look good. Like there's some shots where I'm just like, wow, that's on a 14-year-old workhorse of a camera that's still going.
Yeah, it's the so DZO Pictor parfocal lenses. What's nice about them is the kit that I know we would like to kind of rent. There's 3 lenses in the kit. It's the I can't remember what the lowest one is. Like 14 to 20 millimeter. I know there's a 20 to 55 millimeter, and then there's the 50 to 100 millimeter. And those are great. No, with these lenses though, one of the things, and for those of our audience that doesn't know what parfocal lens is, so with a regular kind of like a what's known as a prime lens, that's a fixed lens that's at either you're gonna either get it at 20 millimeter or 50 millimeter. It stays at that. Versus a zoom lens is gonna bounce back and forth between like 50 to a 125. That's a good example. Here we have
go. 50,
the 20 to 55, the 50 to 125. That's what it was. It wasn't 100. But with zoom lenses, usually when you're going from one to another, you still have to rack focus when you're doing that. With a parfocal lens, what's nice is you can zoom in and you can fix your focus, and then you can pull back out and it'll maintain its focus. There's a lot more elements, and also
that will come in handy because for the vision of the film, it's narrative, so you're going to be with this character, and he experiences a lot of disorientation. It is very intimate. So having that clarity in racking the focus and everything, we're going to be doing a lot of this.
These would be the optimal lenses that I'd want for this shoot, while also kind of pairing them with the lenses that we currently have as well. I mean, man, I would love to get my hands on some like Soviet glass. I'm talking like old, vintage, Cold War
I want the
era.
Geiger counter to go off on the lenses.
Just some of that Nazi glass. Right?
It's the radiation that gets you the good image.
So, these the
that
other
experimental Nazi glass.
Kind of nice. It's nice looking at these.
A good one to look up is the Helios one. I'm pretty sure you've seen that one. It creates the bokeh in the background. It swirls it into a massive swirl in the background.
Can you look up that?
Helio, H-E-L.
Well, I got to say this real quick as we're looking at these lenses. What's nice, look at the size. The weight.
Oh, no, sorry. I'm thinking, back up. I'm thinking Helios from Fallout. Back up just one. It is Helios. It's the 442.
They're not bad. Like for parfocal lenses, which are usually a little bit bigger and clunkier.
So this is going to be more of a prime. This is a prime, but it has a really cool and unique swirl bokeh in the background when you really pump it up.
Yeah,
you
you
can see how
can
it's kind
see
of
that
swirling
bokeh.
it. Yeah. It's got a very unique bokeh to it.
Oh yeah, I mean that was one of the things I'll say about those DCOs is they're crisp, they're clean, but they do create a nice
There
soft
it is.
image on the, you know. Oh wow, look at that.
Yep, made
that's
in USSR.
Made in USSR. The one thing.
That's why the second you said you wanted Russian glass,
Right.
I've had my eyes on
Well,
this
you
guy.
know that anamorphic lenses were invented during World War II. I'm sorry, World War One.
This is true? For what? Why?
Well, I know they were invented for the military to get a wider field of view, and I thought they did that so they could use it for like aerial photography. You know, like wider shots of planes and aerial combat. But I want to look that up. I had an old tripod that was used for that, so I might be mixing my memory soup. Oh wow, I was way off. Sort of. This is through AI. Or this is through this is through Google AI overview. Anamorphic lenses, which create a wider field of view by compressing the image horizontally, originated during World War I as a military invention for tank periscopes. French astronomer Henri Chrétien developed the technology to provide a wider field of view for tank operators. Later in the 1950s, the technology was adapted for cinema with 20th Century Fox, using it to create the Cinemascope format, which became a popular widescreen format. How about that? Henri Chrétien, a French astronomer, developed the hypergonar lens for military use during World War I. The lenses allowed tank operators to see a wider field of view through their periscopes. There you go. Makes sense, though. Well, I do know, here's the interesting thing. Going wide like that.
Olex.
Really, if you look at widescreen, I mean, if you look, just look at their own vision. We see wide. We don't see real, like, we have to look up and we have to look down. But we have really broad peripheral vision. That's pretty unique.
It's also curved to us in a sense.
It is.
Hence
It's
the
very
curved
true.
screens in theater, the curved screen that we have here.
Which is why when you look at this aspect ratio, 16 by 9, because it's wider, it matches the human eye. It matches how we actually visually see better than sort of kind of the box format. You know what I mean?
Oh, 4x3.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're looking at this, something just makes your eyes go, yeah, that looks correct to me.
I always get like a question from my dad, for example. You know, like I'll talk to him about films, and one of the questions I get from him is, what makes movies like Hollywood films and sort of the films you see on Netflix and stuff like that look different? What makes them look, you know, more professional?
There's
more.
about a dozen.
There's a lot of different elements.
Dozen
Lighting
different
and
factors.
movement.
Lighting is definitely one of them.
Lighting and movement are
but
two
lenses.
and lenses.
Yep.
Yeah,
too.
glass.
It
Is
boils
what I was
like-
going to get to. Is
It
like,
boils down to your cinematography, which is
Yeah.
handled by numerous people and numerous departments, all blending together into the perfect. It's like it's the typical chain saying that you're as strong as your weakest link. That's how you get it's your good lighting, good blocking, good directing, great acting.
It's
Sound,
individual
editing,
elements,
coloring. Is the
coming together.
wardrobe appropriate to the character?
Oh, yeah.
Is the scenery? Everything has to come together.
Yeah, it's not just pointing and shooting. You know, there is a consideration, which is why glass is so important. It does,
It's extremely important.
like for this, it gives you that, you know, that true physical representation of that object being
You see that
there.
one?
And
That one actually didn't have that much of a swirl. There's some different Helios lenses where it looks like the background is just falling into a fucking sinkhole.
Can you look up? Just look up. There's like a wide variety of Russian glass. Just look up Russian lenses. Russian film lenses. Yeah, I mean Tarkovsky's I'm a really big fan of his
You'll probably find something by Potato Jet or something.
Soviet lenses.
One of those is probably going to be a Helios.
Yeah, just
A lot of
check
people are
that
going
out.
to be.
I mean,
A lot of people
quite
are going to be
few
talking
of
about
those
the
on
Helios.
there. And that's the thing is that I don't know what it was. It was
Retro photo house. That's a good sign.
during that time they were just doing some really cool experimental stuff over there with glass. Same thing with Japan. I mean, look at the lens and glassware that has come from Japan over several years. You know, it's amazing.
Anamorphic lenses can usually be identified by their reduced sharpness, increased distortion, and what we call fall off, which is where the closer we get.
You know,
So what is it exactly that makes
distortion and softness
these Russian lenses different, though? I mean, like,
one of the things that I've noticed with the glass is, like we were talking about the bokeh in the background, so how the softness of the out of focus stuff is like if you
is
look
that
like at a
because of the
particle,
quality of the glass can create that sort of look?
It's
The quality and lack thereof sometimes. So
Yes.
back in the day, especially in the U.S. and Russia, you'll find it with a lot of Canon FD lenses. The old ones were made of lead. Some were radioactive. They were made with materials that aren't allowed to be made with today. And it gave a lot of them such a unique property.
right? Because you got to think they were interacting with photons and ionized particles and things like that. So when the light hits them, and
So they're radioactive.
no, yeah, no,
Some
completely.
some
You know,
have a
so,
radioactive
like,
element.
they-
Okay.
because they have that, it actually affects how the light filters into the camera differently. And then you got to think back then, especially because everything was shot on film, and this was a problem with like Stalker.
Also, because
Tarkovsky's
The
film.
Tarkovsky film.
Right.
Yeah.
The first time they made it, it was one of his other films too. This I think was an issue. The film got like it was either contaminated or it was spoiled. There was something wrong with the film
that's
grain,
right.
and the film turned out like green, like it was off.
It was all discolored.
Yeah, you have to think that on a chemical level, when the light is interacting with the film itself.
Look at the
Look at
beauty.
that.
Oh,
You know, I'm also looking at these, and I look at this a lot with kind of like the Sako looms and stuff that we're working with, and you know the motor cable at work.
oh, dude, I love when a nice, beautiful loom is made. It's just right. You got less than a foot of excess
Yeah.
It's just. Oh,
Well, I was looking at
I nerd out over that shit.
the ends of those. Now I see where they got all the parts for a lot of lightsabers and stuff.
You
and-
fucking look at the
and you're like,
focus ring.
"Wait
It
a
looks
minute."
it looks like the
There's
connector
only
of a
ones-
socket
yeah.
of a Sockapex cable.
Somebody sitting in the
No,
workshop
dude,
fucking
yeah.
around.
And
you
there's
know?
me, and I look, and I can see some of the older guys going, "Yeah, we know what he's doing," because I'm sitting there going,
Man, you know what it is.
They're like, "Yeah, we did that too when we first."
When the movie
Connected
came
the
out, we were
dots.
doing it. They were probably doing that on the set because it's like the same fucking material.
True. So another thing with these lenses that,
that totally is a
You get these
Sockapex
irradiated lenses.
yeah, well, it's also if you look at how the bokeh is different.
Uranium, you.
Uranium fever.
Something also with the elements, like the glass
Look how
elements.
shallow that focus
Right,
is.
that's
That is
just so-
razor shallow. That's fucking so shallow.
So yeah, I mean, with a lot of the lenses,
Lenses
another
that are thicker at the
thing
middle
was that
are called
because
convex
they
lenses.
would implement the elements differently,
These lenses cause parallel light
that
rays
would
to
give
converge
you
to a single point
just a
called the focal point.
different depth of
When
field,
light rays
you know,
pass
a lot of
through
times with these
They do
lenses
not
that
travel
was
in straight
unique
lines,
compared
but
to
rather bend
And
slightly
it's a lot of them were imperfect, and it's those
Right.
imperfections that give you desirable qualities.
oh yeah, and you
When
want
light
to buy
rays
one of
pass
those
through the
because
lens,
like you might get
they
an
refract
imperfection
and
here that's going to
converge
make
to a single
this
point
much
to
more
produce
unique
an
versus you could get
image.
another one,
Because
same
the
make and
image
It'll be
model,
completely different.
completely different. So they're almost like they're like more like collectible items than actual lenses you go and
This
buy
process alone,
as a,
however,
you know, and if
is
you
not
get this
enough
lens,
to
you expect
produce
this
a sharp
lens.
image.
These are more like, what did I get in the
This is
exciting
because,
candy
strictly
box? You
speaking,
know, like the mystery
a
box.
Yeah.
What am I gonna
convex
get?
lens
Radiation.
alone
Mystery.
Radiation poisoning.
to a
Yeah.
single point.
Uranium fever.
It's gone and
Yeah.
got me
The
down.
focal point where light rays pass
Yeah,
Well, in
through
this day and
the
age,
lens converge
know.
differs slightly from the
No,
focal
it's cool
point where light
seeing
rays
Should we
the,
be supporting Russian
the
lenses?
lens converge.
Yes.
That's
This is called spherical
well, no.
If it
aberration.
looks good.
yeah.
If it looks good.
In addition,
I mean,
color
look at
fringing
that
may
beauty.
occur. This is called chromatic aberration.
There's
Jupiter 9. What a
there's
great
no
name. They had
mo-
great
there's-
names for their lenses, too.
Right, Jupiter,
When
Helios,
it's
all
like
those
a-
are like space.
It's sort of like a
Space
robotic
Yeah, it was all the
eyeball,
space age
you know?
stuff. So,
It's farther away from
no,
the
I'd love to
lens than
work
the
with
focal point
quite a
for
few of
blue
these
light.
lenses.
There's
Some
no
of them.
molding, there's no
This
nothing
causes
to
colors
it. It's
to
still in
shift.
great
Looks like the
condition.
Terminator's eye.
It looks like a
And,
Sacopex then.
yes, it does.
Colors appear
Yes, it
to
does.
bleed,
It looks like it's about to twist onto some Sacopex and start distributing some power.
making light converge neatly to a
This
single
girl is
point
also beautiful. I
requires
would be
technology.
terribly remiss if I did not point this out.
She's
The
doing a wonderful
direction in
job.
which spherical
Right.
aberration
And she's really
occurs
enjoying
in a
those leaves.
convex lens
Yeah.
is opposite to a concave lens. Through a combination
Yeah,
of two or more
if you look at the
lenses,
softness
light
around
rays
her
can
chin
be
and
made to
kind of
converge
like
to
the
a
shoulder
single
area.
point.
Sharp, but
This
not
is
too
called
sharp.
aberration
Right, and then it
correction.
just kind of curves off a little bit
Chromatic aberration can
to
also
kind of
be
give you
corrected by
more
combining
depth
two lenses.
versus something that almost kind of creates like a two-dimensional object on top of
To achieve
another
the most
two-dimensional
beautiful
object.
images possible,
This almost
actual camera
curves
lenses
the,
incorporate multiple individual lenses that correct focus
subject.
and color bleeding.
you know, it kind of curves the light and the focus
Lenses
around
for
them.
single
It almost
lens
creates like a
reflex cameras
soft
are made up of a large
blanket
number of lenses.
imagery-wise
Each lens
around
is
their shoulders.
Like an
It's really
aura.
bizarre.
Such roles
Yeah,
as
it's
adjusting
really
colors,
cool when you look at it.
distortion, and focus, as well
That's
as
the cool
changing
thing
focal
too, is when
distance.
you talking about lenses. I wrote this down
Canon
so I wouldn't
takes
forget how to
pride
say it
in
without
its
sounding like a
diverse
complete
lens
dumbass.
lineup.
Good job.
Well, I'm trying.
It's too late,
Each
but
model
good job.
features
I'm
technology
trying.
designed to
So like
capture
with like a
beautiful
convex
images.
lens, that you're gonna get a wider shot with that. With flatter glass, that's usually using like telephoto shots where you're like getting something that's further away. So with like a concave piece of glass, that's can you actually look up? Oh, this is a look up science filmmaking tips. This kind of does a good job of explaining kind of the science of like a lens and how it actually operates. And here's the thing about lenses, and this is, I absolutely love this. Somebody at some point just took a piece of glass and then started looking at the human eye and started connecting dots. And when I look at the modern camera, and then you just take a piece of glass, like a glass, lens that isn't in anything. It's just the glass, just the element itself. And you look at that, and you just kind of have to kind of comprehend, like, how did we get so far with this? And who first looked at the human eye that extensively? I mean, did they pop it out of the head?
Just
Did it
happens.
just, was it kind of one of those situations? Like, I want to know the pathway to this, because I mean, sound is kind of like that for me too. I think of the idea of radio waves and kind of like moving sound from one place to another, and then we have the ability to pick it up, and just how speakers work, glass and lenses and
Magnets
cameras
and shit.
Right, it's all looking at the ear, looking at the eye, looking at all these different things. That's the other thing. I think of something like an electron microscope. That's scary. That's so weird. That we just took the human eye and just
Turn it into
Figured it out.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's
basically.
we don't quite, like, the human eye is still very unique in what it's capable of doing. But I just think of also what we've been able to do in taking the human eye to that other length and being like, hey, we can see things that are really this far away or really like this close, and then we can see them really far away, like with a James Webb telescope, or you can see them like, again, with like an electron microscope. That idea, like that concept is just like, what?
Yeah.
All from the human eye.
Then again, you have things like Dune, Dennis Villeneuve,
Yeah.
Blade
and
Runner 2049, and the stuff that he does with.
him and Roger Deakins, what they're creating with, and I brought up Roger Deakins last time, especially with
Insane
the lighting and stuff like
visuals,
that.
yeah.
So there.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
really feel like you're just in.
I feel
that,
like we may be getting to the point where it's like almost as much as we can handle, like in a 3-dimensional sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, like we are there. There's some incredible looking stuff out there
There really is.
being made. But
Well, I think we're gonna take a real quick break, and we're gonna come back. It
You got a
hasn't
pee-pee?
been that bad.
I got a pee-pee and I need
You
to
got a
smoke
pee-pee?
smoke.
He's got a pee-pee. He's got a pee-pee.
yeah. He just has to.
Okay. Well, you've been listening to listening and hopefully watching The Science of Art. I'm Dakota Coolman. With me, I have Matt Pleasant and Eric Adams. We'll be right back. If you're looking for help on your next project, Exit Reality Entertainment offers more than just entertainment. We also offer opportunity to further expand your own universe with Reality Stock, our one-stop shop coming soon to a reality near you. If you need help, we've got everything from talented staff to help you accomplish your mission to stuff in stock, including rental equipment, photo, and video elements to help spice up your creative content. Don't forget our online store where you can also buy merchandise and memorabilia from all of our shows and films. So stop on by. Our doors are always open. Take stock in your reality. And we're back.
Here we are.
Getting a little chilly out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
We're
it's
in fucking Arizona. What the hell is that?
feeling really
Right.
nice.
What is this cold bullshit?
I like it.
Yeah.
It's not even really that cold. It's like what is
Chilly.
it? What is it? 60 degrees right now or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
It's not even. But if you're from here and you're in that blistering hot weather,
It's fucking,
most of the time,
it's fucking cold.
yeah, it's cold. Your skin is.
I'm born and bred, Glendale, Arizona. It's cold.
Oh yeah,
It's cold.
it is. I'm cold now.
Well, speaking of the state, I'm interested to see these new
The tax incentives.
well, the tax incentives, but also the facilities that they're going to be building here eventually.
Oh my god.
Eventually,
I think they've already started on some.
Yeah, they've started on some. You can see them out there. These warehouses going up. Large venues, buildings.
The amount of power being ran out of there, all the 400 amp service boxes that are being installed out there, how much power, electrical power is running out to those facilities.
well, hopefully this is going to bring a lot of work to the state as well.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. Spider-Man.
I was like, I got those light bulbs. I'll bust them
I had to
out.
put my fingers up and go, that's tough. The second one.
Yeah.
It's like I have those light bulbs. So remember, I pulled them out on
Oh,
Invasion,
yeah.
simulated
that
the
was
power
fun.
of the power of the sun in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, that was so
cool.
cool. Those bulbs are
That
cool.
was so
Oh, father,
Yeah.
they're nuts.
What are these that are actually by our feet right now? The ones that are kind of like pointing up. Those are new. I haven't seen those yet.
Those, one of them just died on me. Unfortunately, the power supply on one of them just died on me. So we at least got a couple episodes out of it. I don't know. I got it secondhand off of some distributor. I think they're a newer brand, but they're little light ones. They just got your typical
Yeah, I
like.
saw you were kind of able to kind of adjust the angle and stuff. No, those are cool. I like the now.
I like the versatility of it. You can just stick it in little random places and get interesting lighting out of very. And
Are you able to
does
adjust
sound
that
nice.
from 5600 to 32?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
that's
sir.
cool. But no, I think the landscape here is going to change pretty abruptly. I know already Phoenix is starting to be recognized as more of an entertainment hub than it used to be.
Look at the amount of tours and shows coming through that massive, massive outdoor venue that's being built right in Glendale, right next to my fucking house.
The California exodus is still happening and spilling out here. It's going to New Mexico, Texas.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And we're closer than New Mexico, so why not just film in AZ?
Yeah. And we have a new Lex Luthor who can just sink California right into the ocean. Like,
you talking about
one
Gavin
of these
Newsom,
days.
the governor?
No. I'm talking about like we have a new
I joke.
Nicholas Holt is our new Lex Luthor. This is gonna be fun.
Oh,
I'm
the
really
actual
looking.
new Lex
Oh
Luthor.
yeah, I'm actually,
Go buy some beachfront property in Wickenburg.
Oh yeah,
Out in Wickenburg.
Otisburg.
Yeah, that's a good casting choice.
Yes, it
You
is.
know.
I think he's. I don't know. I have not seen anything that David Cornsweet has been in yet.
Mm-hmm.
And
I haven't much either. What I do trust in is James Gunn,
right?
and his casting ability, which is impeccable. Like every film that he's done, like a lot of the strength that it lies upon, you know, is the performance. They're really heavy pieces. You know, even Suicide Squad has got like, there's it you know, I'm a sucker, but it had me teared up in some spots.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So
he's always gonna get you every single time, no matter what. He's gonna be like, "Hey, fun and games, a little horror, a little edge," and then he's always gonna be like, "Here's your heart. I'm gonna throw it on the ground and stomp on it."
You gotta have actors that can bring it. And
we're gonna put it back in, and we're gonna be all friends again.
Yeah,
you know, still, it's like, "Ow, why'd you do that?"
But you want him to do it again and again,
right? You know.
I don't know.
So, do either of you, like, right now, Eric, I know you're kind of just getting more geared up and ready for kind of like all these projects that we're working on, and Matt, you're kind of really working on getting geared up and ready for commitment. But is there anything that, like, for the next 5 years, is there anything that's kind of like you're really excited for, as far as kind of like what we've been kind of working on and working towards? And I know we're doing a short now. We've got this show going on and some other, you know, projects that are up in the works and stuff. Like, man, we got a feature coming next. Like, that's the main big thing. But
one thing I'm looking forward to is AZ48's had a very nice steady climb. I can see it being very popular online within 5 years, and I can see it not only financially supporting itself, but helping us on all our other ventures.
Yeah. And it's definitely, and the more guests we bring in too is always fun, you know. So yeah, I think that's something that this show also is another thing to kind of keep pushing forward.
Yeah, this is another great introduction.
Reality stock, I think, is going to be something that's going to be fun once we start launching that a little bit more in 2025. You know, 2024. That's going to be an interesting year of us kind of really learning more about this gear and kind of, you know, buckling down and, you know, getting that passive income stream kind of mindset going too, you know.
We have the gear, we have the determination and the knowledge.
Yeah, and we're already creating stuff. Now it's just kind of pushing that. You know, the problem is before, when you're so set on the creative and you kind of neglect the business angle of it, it's not long lasting. You know, you have to find a way to make the stuff sort of sustain itself. Otherwise, you know, it's an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
You treat everything like that. That's how you do it. Even from a creative standpoint, it's like every next project that we do, you know, and, you know, we have a lot of stories to tell. So the real, like, way to determine them is, you know, how can this also serve as a utility for us as a company, for our image, for our brand, but not only that, but showing what we're capable of at a higher level. Because for me, you know, it's just always making films and really finding a way to tell the next story. I mean, my hope is that, yes, you know, it's more of an everyday thing, and it's not as arduous, you know, and it's not as much of a balancing act with everything else in life. But honestly, I know I will not want to stop making films. So I guess what I can hope for is just that one of them is, you know, particularly the feature films we're excited about, which really have that, you know, sort of like lasting impact. If you can make a really solid feature, if you can get some people behind it, you know, I'm looking forward to kind of continuing by, you know, just making features in the future and going from one feature to the next feature. And I love short films, but it's a different thing.
It's a different. I always call it the laboratory.
It's
a festival thing.
Yeah.
The short film is the laboratory where you work out the kinks as you're working your way up to a feature. You know, on this film we're going to work on figuring out how we want lighting to work. On this film we're going to figure out, you know, how to get our sound kinks out. On this film we're going to.
I think we're long-term storytellers too.
Oh, we are.
We want to tell bigger stories.
Let me get you started on that sound. That new mixer we got that we used for Demonic, that's also going to be used on AZ48 and film sets.
Nice.
It's kind of big and bulky and awkward to lug around, but it's got the best microphone preamps in the world.
That's good.
Award-winning, so sound on this next sound is going to sound amazing.
Good, because that's, as it always really is something that is like so important.
Yeah, and it's always been, unfortunately, I have good hearing. We
just need to get
bad ears.
We just need to get a good sound guy. We have the tools. Just unfortunately...
No, sorry. I have great ears. I have terrible hearing. That's what I meant.
There you go.
My tinnitus just after That kicked in at a weird time, but
I
don't know. It's there now.
It was one of the last shows I did with you as a cam up, and it was one of those Hispanic bands over at Desert Diamond.
Okay.
And I remember the dude put Video Village out at front of house, so anytime he opened up the comm line to you and me, it was the show feeding back into our ears.
Grupo for me.
One of those that fucked my hearing up. Because I was I was expecting him to be backstage, and like he was talking to us before the music started, so I had it cranked up a little bit. And right as they went, he started going. I haven't recovered since. Like I have my ears are muffled, and I got that real bad, especially in my right ear. Like that show fucked me up, and like if I ever see that dude again, he fucked my ears up just because he wanted to be out at front of house to see the action when he's watching all the live camera feeds. He's seeing it from every angle possible.
They're also pouring beer and tequila and stuff all over each other on stage too.
Didn't they disappear for like an hour on the out? It is a party. Didn't the road crew disappear for like an hour on the out to go get drunk, and we were just standing there like, dude, don't you guys have to get to the next location?
That was a pretty rough one. That was a pretty rough one.
Oh.
But those usually
cost me some of my hearing.
Yeah.
We can bring it back.
Please.
We will. Artificial ears, ladies and gentlemen.
I look forward to it.
The science of ears.
The science of ear.
The science of ear.
Brought to you by ERE.
Eerie.
Brought to you by Van Gogh Entertainment.
Thank you guys for being here tonight.
Of course.
I know one of you just fucking lives here.
I stay around.
The other one,
I stay around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm a Foo Fighter.
So,
I'm over all the time.
I think it's this weather, especially once it gets cloudy here.
It was so gorgeous.
Like 365 days of sun.
The drive over here was so beautiful.
It's nice.
Well, I think we're gonna sign off here. If you want to crank that bye-bye music up.
Do it up.
So this has been The Science of Art by Eggs Reality Entertainment and Above Below Studios. With me is Matt Pleasant, Eric Adams. Everybody, you have a great night. Bye-bye.